additional minutes of tedium provided this year, compliments of CBS and the Recording Academy. The extra time initially designed to accommodate the excessive number of live performers, but ultimately only responsible for irritating you for a half hour longer than usual. Last I checked, Bob Dylan was still singing. Somebody want to tell Bob the show's over? Could ya? Thanks. There's still a few stragglers here awaiting their limos for the after parties, and I want to see if we can get one of them to say hello here. There's rapper Ice Cube. Ice! Ice! Yeah, Scott Muni, Imus in the morning news. Could we have a... Oh, sorry. Sorry, that's not Ice Cube. That's Miss Natalie Cole. Hiya, Nat. Yeah. That gown is unforgettable. Man, unrecognizable is more like it. Another jelly donut. They'll start worshiping her in New Delhi. I was hoping to speak with the great Patti LaBelle. However, after making a guest appearance during the Lady Marmalade number, alongside divas in training Christina Aguilera, Lil Kim, Missy Elliott, Maya, and Pink, Patti had, from what I'm told, a nervous breakdown and was rushed to nearby Cedars Sinai Hospital, where she's been heavily sedated and is now said to be resting comfortably. I think Patti's reaction to the new rendition was probably about as similar as Fats Domino's when he first heard Pat Boone's version of Ain't That a Shame. Revulsion, followed by extreme nausea, and then just a dull, droning numbness. I tell you, I can't blame her. If I had to share a stage with that rodeo clown who calls herself Christina Aguilera, I think I'd need a handful of Prozac myself. I mean, something like that pops out of a dark alleyway at you, and you'd swear off booze, drugs, and white sugar. And oh, hang on, I think I see Bono. Yeah, I do. But unfortunately, he's also seen me, and into the limo he goes. Hey, still haven't found what you're looking for? There was a time when I was the only one who'd play that record, you ungrateful little dweeb. By the way, the racquetball goggles still hasn't caught on as a fashion craze. Prick. Another anticipated highlight of the evening, the Billy Joel Tony Bennett duet of New York State of Mind, ended up making this particular Manhattan resident consider moving to New Jersey. Why Joel just doesn't give up altogether and start gigging at the Holiday Inn already is beyond me. I tell you, he should have snatched that Brillo pad sitting on top of Tony's head, because the piano man himself is looking more and more like his scalp is made of ivory. But, oh, hang on. There's Don Henley. Don! Scott Muni, Imus in the morning news. Can we have a... Don, big Eagles fan here. Hotel California, greatest rock and roll album ever. Oh, sorry, that was not Don Henley. That was Trisha Yearwood, who is, Jesus, virtually living proof that the road is a cruel, unforgiving bitch. Speaking of that, here's Celine Dion, who is a presenter this year. Thankfully not a performer, because... Ow! Hey, take it easy. I was only kidding. Come on. Put that down. Natalie, it was a joke. Dono, as we speak, I'm being assaulted by Natalie Cole, who's swinging one of those velvet ropes like a nunchuck. Ow! Not the mask. Ow! We're backstage at the Staples Center at the 44th Annual Grammy Awards. Scott Muni, Imus in the morning. Hey, ow! Jesus, I lost a tooth. I'm bleeding.
Attention, all your players and pimps right now in the place to be.
Hey, hey.
I thought I told y'all niggas before. Y'all niggas can't fuck with me.
What?
Now this ain't fun, no small booties, no sir, cause that won't pass.
Show me what you're working
But
with.
if you feel you got the biggest one, then mama come shake your ass. Shake your ass, watch yourself. Shake your ass, show me what you're working with. Shake your ass, watch yourself. Shake your ass, show me what you're working with. Imus in the morning.
I'm Laura McNichol for the Fan Highway Patrol.
And I'm Christy Musumeci. Time for the Imus in the Morning Scum Report. And definitely the scum was strutting their stuff last night in L.A. for the Grammy Awards. The big story of the night, Alicia Keys walked away with 5 trophies, including Best New Artist. But who really cares about the winners? Let's talk about the losers.
There you go.
And there are many of them. Have you seen these pictures? I didn't see this, but Pamela Anderson all night sitting on boyfriend Kid Rock's lap.
Get out.
Give me a break. I mean, the two of them, it's like Hoochie Mama there with her pimp. He is.
They make Sid Rosenberg look like a blue blood.
They make him look classy. I mean, this Kid Rock, I don't, at least Tommy Lee, like, had an attractive face, you know, if you cleaned him up. Kid Rock is like, I wouldn't get in his car if he drove by and, you know, come here, little girl. Anyway, he was seen with a very attractive polyester outfit and a bottle of Jack Daniels in the back pocket. Just
Okay.
That always works for me.
always works. It's a good look. It's a good look. White trash. Russian Malloy in the Daily News reports that Courtney Love showed up in grunge and kept her 7-year-old child, Frances Bean, up until nearly midnight.
Yeah.
You know, what? Then let's take her over to Paula Poundstone's house. I mean,
That's a good mom.
What happened to
Poor
responsibility
kid.
here? Come on.
poor kid. And then Melissa Etheridge and her girlfriend, Tammy Lynn Michaels, showed up hand in hand wearing coordinating ensembles.
Well, that's sweet.
Very sweet. I'd like to know what they did when they got home.
I don't know.
Not really.
No, I don't want to know.
We don't want to know that.
Don't need to.
And Jay Leno has ticked off the South Koreans. Mr. Giant Chin himself apparently made a joke the other night that many see as pouring oil on fire. He made a joke about speed skater Kim Dong-sung, who was disqualified after finishing first in the 1,500-meter race. Leno said he must have gone home, been so frustrated that he kicked a dog and then ate it.
That's not good.
Not good.
Whoa.
That's bad. Did you
Where's
see this? Did you hear this?
It's not funny. It's
Where's
not
the
funny.
slur, though? Kicking the dog?
Ate it. You know, they don't.
Don't they eat dogs over there? I mean, isn't that conventional wisdom that they do that?
That's cats. No, I don't know. It's not. They weren't happy
Speaking
about
of
it.
eating dogs, was this related to the Melissa Etheridge story?
Exactly. No, they would be eating tuna.
Come on now. Subtlety.
The comment aired on South Korean television didn't go over big there. Apparently, a former prime minister has called Leno an ignorant SOB and wants NBC to oust him. Him and along with probably 7 million other Americans.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And speaking of scum, you're going to love this, Chuck.
All right.
The people at Enron have changed their office voice recording message to reflect the change of events at the company. Now, the Imus in the Morning scum team has been able to get a hold of this inside number. Let's dial that up, Louie.
Yes.
Thank you for calling Enron. Please listen closely to the following options as our menu has changed. If you wish to serve a subpoena on a current or former Enron executive, press 1. If you are an Enron shareholder and would like to learn how to turn your Enron stock certificates into decorative origami, press 2. If your Enron 401k plan is worthless and you'd like some tips on how to survive your retirement eating nothing but mac and cheese, press 3. If you are an Enron executive and would like to find out which prison inmate will be making you his bitch, press 4. If you would like to invoke your constitutional right against self-incrimination, press 5. If you are Dick Cheney, press 6. And thanks for nothing, Dick. If your company is looking to hire someone to record your voicemail menu options, please press 7. Or stay on the line and an operator will assist you. Thank you for calling Enron, the world's greatest company.
Isn't that special?
That's great.
That's great. I'll
Where was
tell you.
Claire Shipman on that report?
I know, in the empty office. I'm telling you, we're doing it here on the Scum Report. She didn't even get that. So, and James Carville and loudmouth Paul Begala, CNN, apparently putting the two on crossfire in hopes of stealing viewers from MSNBC's Hardball. Walter Isaacson masterminded that deal and said it's going to be lots of money for Carville and not much work. Gee, he's probably pretty used to that, huh? I don't know why they don't put his wife on the other side.
She's been there.
But that would be great, you know, if that was a regular feature. But Robert Novak and Tucker Carlson have both committed to staying on the right.
And Mary, by the way, works for the vice president.
That's right.
Yeah, no,
She can't be doing
she can't
that
be doing that anymore.
No.
Can you imagine breakfast at their house?
Good.
Like the toast and eggs flying. I can't even imagine it. And you may be wondering why we, of course, included those two in our little Scum Report, because they used to work for this Mr. Scum himself, Bill Clinton.
Ooh, now I get it.
Look at that.
It's coming together, baby.
Segue.
I'm Christy Musamechi with Imus in the Morning Scum Report.
All right, here now with comment and observation on headline issues of the day, Imus in Washington's senior political analyst, the late Richard M. Nixon.
With just a few quick, ill-considered, some might say reckless pot shots today. Imus, in the morning. Reckless shots, he said, huh? Issue 1. Point that thing the other way, or that's a hell of a way to dispute the bill. The Jason Williams affair, I knew. Terrible matter. Best left to the courts. Though I just observed, we said designated driver, Jason, not dead driver, for God's sake. What an idiot. And a candidate for Camp X-Ray, if ever there was one. About one enclosure over from Gene Simmons, by the way. Did you catch our KISS octogenarian at the final ceremony of the now mercifully concluded Olympics? Gruesome. That's all you can say, Dono. Grissom. His tongue has liver spots, and he's working on a book, which proves that having read a book is not a requirement for writing one. Great contribution. A compilation of nothing but beaver shots, or something close, of women he's somehow gotten into the sack. Who, by the way, Mr. Simmons claims, number roughly 4,700. Jesus. I didn't know there were that many lobotomized blind babes around, did you? Well, on to far more significant matters. Now, am I to understand that the Saudis have piped up with a proposal for resolving the Middle East crisis? What is it, flying a charter into the Wailing Wall? If I recall my facts, no fewer than 15 of our September 11th box cutter boys were Saudis. And a recent poll found that like 95% of university-age Saudi citizens think Osama bin Laden is a hero. Well, thanks, Abdullah. But when it comes to your ideas for peace, I'll take a Pat Robertson pass. You heard about that, by the way? Reverend Robertson's Baptist butt is in the old fundamentalist sling again, because he said that the Koran contains passages about killing infidels, like chapter 2, verse 191, where it says, kill them wherever you find them. Such is the recompense of the unbelievers. And... never mind. On a not unrelated subject, what is the deal with the Catholics? Now, far be it from me to cast aspersions, Dono, but geez, I think if you're going to serve as spiritual mentor, you ought to focus more on doing the wafer and wine bit and less on feeling up the help. I mean, what's the church's criteria for being a choir boy these days? A willing spirit and breakaway pants? When did serving communion become a quid pro quo? Oh, well, crazy world. What else? Oh, she's not even on the Wheaties box yet, and I'm already sick of Sarah Hughes. I know that's a contrarian view that'll be interpreted as gender bashing or something, but I don't care. Just go to the event, win the medal, and go away. I am not interested in being inundated now by another pixie-haired skating gnome. Oh, and speaking of gender bashing, I saw a photo of Eve Ensler the other day. The vagina monologues gal? It looked like, along with her vagina mouthing off, her stomach has been screaming cheeseburger. She's got a new play, and I'm wondering what she's calling that one. The belly rant? Ouch! All over the map in the old Dick Scope today, J.D. Dick Nixon using, with apologies to Jason Williams, the old shotgun approach as commentating president of the United States.
Walking through a party in the county jail. The prison band was there, they began to wail. The band was jumping and the joint began to swing. You should have heard this knocked out jailbird sing. Let it rock. Everybody let it rock. Everybody in old cell block was dancing to the jailhouse rock. Spider Murphy played his tenor saxophone. Little Joe was blowing on the slide trombone. The drummer boy from Illinois would crash, boom, bang. The whole rhythm section was a purple gang. Let's rock. Everybody, let's rock. Everybody in old cell block was dancing to the jailhouse rock. Imus in the morning.
In the world of sports, some moments are bigger than others.
Sitting in the Cuban sun, being watched by soldiers holding guns. Another caravan from Afghanistan of that Al-Qaeda and Taliban clan. They're all prisoners at Guantanamo Bay, doing time day after day. They're just sitting there at Camp X-Ray, wastes of life. Battlefield detainees, shackled, hooded, being kept on their knees. The Red Cross and the ACLU are complaining that we're being too cruel to all the prisoners at Guantanamo Bay, taking their rights all away. Holding prisoners there at Camp X-Ray is making them whine. Well, they say a breach of a terrorist civil rights is some kind of threat to our American way of life. But if they believe what they claim,
make 'em all shave their beards. Ramsey Clark citing our Constitution. Well, here's an amendment for a final solution. Send all the liberals to Guantanamo Bay. All the pinkos who want, take 'em away. Fry 'em all at Guantanamo Bay. We wasted time. Any day now, they shall be released.
All right, here now, over from the Archdiocese of Manhattan, please welcome to the Imus and
What the hell are you looking at?
the Imus in the Morning program, Congressman Cardinal.
All right, fella.
Well,
I'm here to give you last rites or some damn thing. You sound stupid.
Cardinal
You
Egan,
wake
good morning.
up, you smack you.
Good morning, Cardinal Egan.
Good morning, the God bless. How's the eye man?
I'm fine.
Well, that's too damn bad, be Jesus. So what do we have now? Joseph Goebbels out visiting Hitler in the bunker, be Jesus. Can you imagine flying all the way across the country just to kiss the eye man's wrinkled up old butt? Well, let me just say this. Charles McCord deserves an Oscar, a bloody Academy Award, be Jesus. For that boy, ain't it great to be here at the Imus Ranch performance, you four-eyed phony, you be Jesus. I tell you what, it wasn't motion sickness that was ailing McCord when he pulled up to the ranch in that taxi. It was that gallon of antifreeze he drank in a last-ditch suicide attempt, be Jesus. Sucking on the tailpipe of the taxi didn't help you, spineless sycophant, you. I tell you what, Mr. Martin, McCord at the ranch must feel a lot like Deirdre Imus on the honeymoon. Lonely, afraid, and just praying to God the eye man doesn't get horny, be Jesus, God forgive me. Flippin' cruel joke. McCord can't decide right now whether he'd rather be lying in a dumpster next to Chandra Levy or pinned under Lizzie Grubman's SUV, be Jesus, I'll tell you that. Let me ask you this, Mr. Martin.
Yes.
What's the difference between Charles McCord and Rosie O'Donnell's proctologist?
Well, now, we just, this is not what...
Can't wait. Well, both do repulsive things. O'Donnell's proctologist doesn't pucker up beforehand, BG, I'll tell you that.
That'll be fine.
And now you got your chubby, fat yucklebuck Rob Bartlett going out to the ranch. Is that right, Mr. Marr?
Well, I understand that's true, yeah.
What are you going to do with him? Rope him off and let the kids throw peanuts at him, BG, or some damn thing? Maybe he could wear purple and pretend he's Barney the dinosaur, BG. A bunch of damn ranch full of retards, I'll tell you that. Now listen up, Imus. Listen to me, prune face, BG's.
I'm listening.
Do me and your listeners one favor. Shut your fat mouth about the stupid cowboy boots, BG's. The only thing the eye man should have on his feet is a toe tag anyway, BG's, you Eunice Shriver-looking old smuck, you. For God's sakes. Let me just say this, Mr. Martin, about the bumbling Washington, D.C. police.
Okay.
I'm convinced these jokers couldn't find a vein on Ted Kennedy's nose, BG's, I tell you that. Or a Vaseline jar in Barney Frank's house, BG's.
That'll be fine.
Washington, D.C. would be one hell of a town to have the eye man whacked, wouldn't it, McCard?
Indeed.
Those police down there, they need someone like Bo Deatle to bust this intern case open wider than McCord's legs in the eye man's sleeping bag. I'll tell you that, BG's. Make you sick.
Come on here.
Make you sick, Mr. Martin, I tell you that, BG's. Has the eye man heard the latest on comedian Paula Poundstone?
No, I have
Well,
not.
let me give it to you, Mr. Lamar.
Okay.
She says she wants to represent herself in her upcoming trial. Actually says she can lick the charges herself, be Jesus, make you sick.
Yeah.
Good one. Let
Yeah,
me just give
great.
the eye man the real Hollywood story behind the arrest of the alleged drunken lesbian pedophile. The story Pat O'Brien and company refused to report, Mr. Lamar.
Yeah.
One afternoon, Poundstone gets liquored up. And by that I mean she gets drunk, be Jesus. So there's no misunderstanding, do you see?
Right,
Yeah.
fine.
She then stumbles into a TV producer's office with a great idea for herself to star in a TV show called the new Leave It to Beaver show,
That'll be fine.
with her own stepdaughter playing the part of the beaver, be Jesus.
We need to get to Wish Us a
It was then and only then the police were called, Mr. Marr. There's a
Yeah.
God in heaven one day soon Robert Blake can redeem himself and take Paula Poundstone out to dinner. I'll tell you that, Mr. Marr.
All right, Wish doesn't
Of
belong
course,
in
it had
why.
to be a seafood restaurant, I tell you that.
That'll be fine.
Which doesn't belong in why?
Well, I love this.
Which doesn't belong in why?
All right.
A, the shark who bit the 8-year-old kid's arm off, be Jesus.
Okay, the shark who bit the 8-year-old kid's arm off.
With the polygrip in here. B, Paula Poundstone.
Paula Poundstone.
C, Mr. Lamar. Which doesn't
Well,
belong in why?
Obviously, the shark who bit the kid's arm off.
Right, you cactus freak. Oh, freak you be Jesus. While all three predators have been accused of eating little kids, the answer is A. The shark doesn't belong because unlike the other two, the shark has never slept with a man and he got what he deserves, be Jesus.
That'll be fine. Cardinal Egan here.
God bless you, God. I'm thinking a whole lot of these, be Jesus.
On the Imus
Leave it to David, I tell you that.
25 after the hour.
We've been together since way back when. Sometimes I never wanna see you again.
to the wise sport.
You want scores? You want scores? You can't handle scores! Here's Warner Wolf!
Good morning, Warner.
Good morning, I-Man. NBA last night, the first place Nets hadn't won 7 in a row in 18 years. And they still haven't. The Hornets beat the Nets 104-85. Jamal Mashburn, 15 out of 20 from the field, 36 points. Blazers 7 in a row beat the Wiz 105-107. Michael Jordan, knee surgery, could be out for the year. In Philadelphia, the Sixers beat the Heat 82-72. Iverson had 31. And talk about home court advantage. Foul shooting. Philadelphia went to the line 46 times. Miami, only 16. The Wolves beat the Lakers 112-101.
Maybe Miami committed more fouls, Warner.
They did.
Okay.
Well,
That explains no home court advantage.
Well, now wait a minute. It's a equal court, you know. You're called 46 times to 16. That's a lot. That's a disparaging difference.
Sure is. Stop fouling.
That's all there is to it.
Cut the fouls.
Keep you guys in line.
Change the rule. 33 for Kevin Garnett. The Shaq had 27 points, and speaking of foul shots, made 11 out of 15.
Wow, give him a bonus.
Well, when you're not going well, blame it on your coach. Pete Sampras, who did not win one title last year and finished 10th, his lowest ranking in 13 years, has fired his coach, Tom Gullickson. Sampras, certainly one of the greatest players of all time, will replace Gullickson with Jose Aguirre, Sampras' third coach in 3 months. Move over Dan Fouts and Dennis Miller and make way for John Madden. Fox Sports has let Madden out of his deal 1 year early, and the speculation is Madden will turn up on Monday Night Football, which had their lowest rating of all time, replacing both Fouts and Miller. The salary cap strikes again. Today, the Ravens will release 3 more, including 2 future Hall of Famers, tight end Shannon Sharp and defensive back Rod Woodson. The Ravens have also told quarterback Elvis Grbac, who was supposed to turn the offense around but didn't, that he either reconstruct his 5-year, $30 million deal or he will not be the starter. Raven fans everywhere are yelling, "Bring back Trent Dilfer." The Detroit Lions' new home, Ford Field, apparently is not making everyone happy. Because of the new stadium, which has 15,000 less seats than the Silverdome, some fans are getting the shaft. One fan who had 4 season tickets since 1951, including an Old Brick Stadium, on the 50-yard line, was offered 2 tickets on the 35. There is a real 15-yard penalty. 14-year veteran linebacker Bill Romanowski, released by the Broncos, has been signed by the Raiders. Now, here is Romanowski talking about keeping in shape, and this could be good advice for the I-Man.
You know, I fly people in all over this country, Canada, to work on my body, to take care of me physically, so then by Wednesday, I can start getting ready for my next opponent.
Well, that's what the I-Man needs, right? Yeah. Fly people in from Canada, all across the country.
He needs a miracle. I'd like to see Bill Romanowski and Ray Lewis in a pay-per-view fight. Those 2 pieces of garbage. It'd be better than Lennox Lewis. What do you think, Warner?
Well, would Romanowski get to wear his helmet? That's the question.
Why, you think Lewis would decapitate him or something? Be a good fight.
Yeah. And speaking of bad management...
Got to think out of the box, Warner.
That's right. Remember when Red Sox general manager Dan Duquette unfairly fired Sox manager Jimmy Williams last August after Williams had kept the Red Sox in the race all year?
Who could forget that?
Even without Nomar Garcia-Parra and Pedro Martinez, as you recall.
I hear you.
And then the Red Sox collapsed after the change.
Right.
The word is Duquette will get the axe today when the new Red Sox owners take over. And finally, Texas Rangers first baseman Rafael Palmeiro has become the new official spokesman for Viagra.
See?
Their new slogan, once you reach first base, you too will have a better chance to score. For Imus at the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
Do, 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 cowbell, do, 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 cowbell, do, 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 cowbell, do, 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 cowbell. this world, nothing can stop a do-over. And you are my girl, and no one can hurt you. Oh no, yes I in the morning.
On board Acela Express, you'll notice each car has its own personality. The vibrant cafe car, the relaxing quiet car, and then there's the first class car, where our dedicated staff will offer you complimentary cuisine, a selection of wines and microbrewed beers. And in Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C., our first-class customers can enjoy our Club Acela lounges, complete with internet and fax service. Every part of Acela Express has been designed to help you travel on business, satisfaction guaranteed, from the conference tables to the Amtrak Guest Rewards program that earns you points for every trip, as well as one car that can only be described as first class. There are two sides to every round trip on Acela Express, the tools to work and the comfort to relax. Now Acela Express offers 9 weekday departures from New York to Boston and 13 weekday departures to Washington. Call your travel agent or 1-877-GO-ACELA or take the fastest route to a ticket at www.amtrak.com. Schedules are subject to change.
It's Mets baseball tomorrow on The Fan. New Mets move on when Roberto Alomar join Mike Piazza, Edgardo Alfonso, and Al Leiter as we bring you the first of 10 preseason Mets games. Be listening as the Mets host the St. Louis Cardinals at 1 p.m. Bob Murphy and Gary Cohen are back to bring you all the play-by-play exclusively on your flagship station for Mets baseball. The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
Hear about the arthritis sufferers who asked for joint right.
American woman, gonna mess your mind. American woman, she gonna mess your mind. American woman, gonna mess your mind. American woman, gonna mess your mind. Say A, say M, say E, say R, say I. American woman, gonna mess your mind. American woman, gonna mess your mind. American woman, gonna mess your mind. Imus in the morning.
This is the Imus in the Morning radio program on WFAN New York, an Infinity Broadcasting station. It is 9 o'clock and time for Imus in the Morning news, local developments, including 2 schools closest to the World Trade Center.
With the great Warner Wolf.
Gonna dig in till the day you die.
It's all according to how your boogaloo situation stands, you understand? Have mercy.
Good morning, Warner. Good morning, man. Remember on Monday, 39-year-old Bobby Bonilla said he was retiring? Well, forget it. In the quickest unretirement in the history of baseball, Bonilla said he is not retiring and he will keep the door open. I'm back. Open the door, Richard. Bad news for the Seattle Mariners. 2 unidentified players and a clubhouse attendant have tested positive for tuberculosis. You'll recall tests were conducted on the entire team last year after shortstop Carlos Guillen came down with TB. Move over Dan Fouts and Dennis Miller and make room for John Madden. Fox Sports has let Madden out of his deal 1 year early, and the speculation is that Madden will turn up on Monday Night Football, replacing both Fouts and Miller. Monday Night Football ratings last year dropped to an all-time low. National Hockey League last night, Florida Panthers goalie Roberto Luongo made 57 saves. 57, and lost in overtime to the Red Wings 3-2. Yelled one Panther fan, he couldn't stop the big one. Right. Where was the 58? That's right. Come on. Anybody can get 57.
Yeah, that's easy.
That's right. Especially if you work for Heinz. The salary cap strikes again. Today, the Ravens will release 3 more, including 2 future Hall of Famers tight end Shannon Sharp, and defensive back Rod Woodson. The Ravens have also told quarterback Elvis Gerbach, who was supposed to turn the offense around, that he either reconstruct his 5-year, $30 million deal or he will not be the starter. Says Gerbach, if you want to pay me $6 million a year to sit on the bench, that's fine with me.
I can take that, Judy.
14-year veteran linebacker Bill Romanowski, released by the Broncos, has been signed by the Raiders. Here was Romanowski on the Raider fans.
The fans are, in my mind, amazing. I mean, these guys, if you're not a true professional and can't handle what these people can dish out, they'll scare the daylights out of you.
He's already scared. Finally, say so long to Enron Field. The Houston Astros wisely removed the name Enron, buying out the name for $2 million and replaced it temporarily with Astros Field until another buyer can be found. No truth to the rumor that Kmart and Global Crossing have both made an offer.
They both bid. Oh, my God.
For Imus in the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
And this is Christy Musumeci with the Imus in the Morning Scum Report, moving right in there from Enron and Global Crossing into the Scum Report. Nice segue, Warner. Come on. All right, Diana Ross. Haven't heard about her in quite a while. Apparently, the diva checked into a mental ward. That's right. The music legend was reportedly on the verge of a nervous collapse over her faltering career. What career? Like that's kind of a dinosaur there. Failed marriage also was in a loony bin mid-December. She was riddled with anxiety and stress, and she finally reached out for help. A music insider says in the National Enquirer that no one was surprised that she landed in a hospital with emotional problems. The whole situation apparently had been brewing for years. Her music and film career came to a screeching halt, and when the Supremes reunion concert flopped, she was just crushed. The diva was seen as the villain in that whole fiasco because she apparently got the bulk of the money and the other two Supremes were given just a small fraction of ticket sales. So two replacement singers went on to do the tour with her instead of the original Supremes, and then the whole thing crumbled.
Didn't help that she started to grow an ass bigger than Stark Jones.
The gut there, like another little baby brewing in the oven.
You know what I mean?
You gotta wonder, too, is Michael Jackson, like, stalking her? You know,
I don't think so.
Well, yeah, I'm telling you, he was obsessed with her.
Well, not unless she's 4 years old or something like that and has a little Petey down there.
He liked her lip gloss. Where'd you get that shade? Speaking of divas, this is kind of funny. Mariah Carey, when she's got to go to the bathroom, she's got to go. Apparently, she was in a Manhattan club recently. Her bodyguards invaded the ladies' room, yelling, "Out! Mariah's got a tinkle." They shooed all the women out of there, and including a little baby, apparently, who was sick in the stall, made him go outside.
Hey, Mariah's got to go.
And Mariah's got to go. She got to go. So she hustled on into the bathroom, and while the other women waited outside.
How many stalls does she need?
I'm telling you. And apparently, she just touched up her makeup.
Oh, please.
Which, that probably was an hour-long process. Just keep going. Cover the whole face, would you, Mariah? And speaking of lovely ladies, let's talk about this again. This upcoming Fox TV special, Celebrity Boxing, going to air March 13th, pitting Tanya Harding against Amy Fisher, the little Long Island Lolita. They're going to box.
I'd like to see that.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a pay-per-view event, absolutely.
Grab the popcorn and place the bets.
Holy cow.
Who do you think's going to come out on top?
Tanya Harding, no question.
For sure.
She's tough.
She is tough.
Sure.
Although Amy Fisher, I don't know. You know, you spend time in the slammer.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Nah.
All right. Well, also on this show, we're going to get Danny Bonaducci and Greg Brady from the Brady Bunch, Barry Williams.
Brother.
When are these people just going to give it up and realize their careers are over? Evidently, though, this is going to be real match here. 3-round matches. Each match will have a referee as well as a doctor on hand in case anyone gets hurt. And please give us barf bags at the door. So that's about it in Scummywood.
All right.
Chrissy Musumeci with the Imus in the Morning Scum Report.
All right, here now, Imus in Washington Senior Military Affairs Advisor, the late General George S. Patton, Jr.
At ease, as you were, maggots. At a moment in our history when a bunch of hysterical, drooling half-wits are running around trying to bring peace to the world, good news is hard to come by. As professional soldiers, we make our money by means of conflict. Currency of our realm is kicking ass. putting a smart bomb in some dumb bastard's mud hut. Agreed?
General's a little on the bellicose side, but in broad terms, correct?
I said we live and die by making sure they are dead and gone. Correct?
And I said, if you interpret confrontation as validating a standing army's existence, yes, you're right.
Damn it, Private. Are you carrying a rifle or a fairy wand? Sound off like you were packing something other than fudge. Now, what do you want to do?
Sir, the private, to align himself with the general's philosophy, wants to commit unreasonable and excessive acts of violence, sir.
I can't hear you.
I said I want to commit mayhem, you deaf old fart.
You want to do what?
I want to cause random death, you son of a bitch, starting with yours.
That's more like it. However, conditions for broad-based bedlam are bleak.
I thought we were at war, and nice alliteration.
Not enough to suit my taste. And just when we were on the verge of a nice little all-out, balls-to-the-wall, total hair-gagging, spleen-yanking, ballpoint in the forehead Middle East war that would pull in nations from all over the damn place, we now have that meddling Saudi Arabian prince with a shoe-polished beard pushing a peace initiative that Israel's prime minister says he wants to hear more about, Yasser Arafat says he appreciates, President Bush is praising, and even Lebanon and Syria are saying they might be able to live with. All right, Eddie's. I feel your pain.
Feel this, you relic.
Hence, we look where we can for positive developments. So, I am pleased to be able to report to you this morning we're about to go to war with Canada. Yep. I have the details in this eyes-only dispatch right here in this valise, handcuffed to my forearm.
That's USA Today, sir.
Aha, so you think. It is disguised as USA Today, soldier. Notice, 700 troops to northern border.
No disrespect, but you're a moron of incalculable dimensions, sir.
How's that?
That's simply a newspaper headline about an expanded program to help patrol the border for our Homeland Defense Plan, sir.
Obviously, you missed all the stories about the Pentagon's Office of Strategic Bullshit, Private.
They dumped that, sir.
This is a disinformation item. This, boys, follow me now, is a declaration of war on Canada to throw off Osama bin Laden, so that through distraction, we can go over there and bomb the living hell out of the 6 Muslim nations that just told the Gallup poll that it wasn't Arabs who jumped ugly with us on September 11th.
Brilliant, sir. Daisy cutters at dawn over Damascus.
You've got it, Private. All right, lock and load. Get your goat repellent on, and let's go ventilate ourselves a few turbines.
Leave them looking like Swiss cheese rounds, sir.
Correct. Thank you for your diverted attention, boys. That is all.
Together again. My tears have stopped falling. The long, lonely nights are now at an end. The key to my heart you hold in your hand, and nothing else matters. We're together again. Imus in the morning.
In the world of sports, some moments are bigger than others. And right around now, there are about...
Imus, and when he's here, still flu-bound, but when he's here, you can send him a message at Imus, WFAN. And Rob and the Bartletts will be appearing at the Zipper Theater in New York City tomorrow night, Saturday night. For ticket information, you can call the box office at 212-563-0480, or you can get everything from Robbie's website, robshow.com. Rob and the Bartletts tomorrow night and Saturday night at the Zipper Theater in Manhattan, 33 minutes past the hour.
All right, here now on the Imus in the Morning program, Reverend Al Sharpton.
My fellow Americans, in the grand tradition of such names as Alan Keyes, Jesse Jackson, and Pat Buchanan, I proudly announce my candidacy for President of the United States. Jesse struck out twice back in the 80s, so considering I lost my races for both the Senate and Mayor of New York, I feel I am more than prepared to throw my Kangol into the presidential ring now. Look out, America. I'm going to be beating the bushes, both literally and figuratively. I am perfect White House material. I'm black, intact, and ready to act. Ain't no hack. I'm back on track, campaigning in the Coupe de Ville Cadillac. And that's the fact, Jack. I am unencumbered by the Jesse Jackson juju. Ain't other than my wife scream out his holy name. Ain't no bankrupt charity controversies hanging over my head like the sword of Damocles, or shaky real estate or futures market deals in my past like a certain previous Democratic administration had. I may have skipped out on a hotel bill or two with the National Action Network, but a majority of those charges was from pay-per-view movies and the minibar. I mean, you get yourself a Pepsi and a can of peanuts while you're watching Cyber Sluts Backdoor Rodeo, and you talking $85. That's an outrage. Also, unlike my Democratic predecessor, Bubba Clinton, I was never involved with a young woman who had evidence of her sexual encounter with me smeared on her garment. Although I once stepped in to assist a young woman who smeared herself with dog doo-doo and climbed into a leaf bag, but I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I ain't into that kinky stuff. That's nasty. Damn. I am merely a champion of the people, committed to the struggle. When them Puerto Ricans was complaining about military weapons testing in Vieques, I protested and went to jail for it, went on a hunger strike. Bill Clinton had this healthcare plan, but you couldn't even get him to lay up Krispy Kremes for one damn day. And finally, my wife Kathy would be the consummate first lady. She's a good woman, an honest woman who ain't got nothing but love for me. Plus, the girl knows when to keep her damn mouth shut. She won't be popping off in public making her opinions known whether you care to hear her or not. Last thing a black woman will do is disrespect her husband by sticking her corn-laden foot in her mouth. Because any self-respecting black man would take the belt to her ass. Which is something that if Bubba Clinton would have just done himself back when he was still in Arkansas, you might not have that big booty skeezer in a pantsuit as senator today. So America, increase your morale, eschew the banal, and consider your pal Reverend Al. And when you send in them contributions to my campaign headquarters, make them out the cash.
Yes, indeed, we are back on in Atlanta, Georgia, on KIMAN, all Imus, all the time, 1340 on the AM dial. You give us 24 hours, we'll give you the I-Man.
There you go.
The show's live 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time in Atlanta.
Then what happened?
And then from 10 to 2, they run it again.
No.
Yeah. And then from 2 to 6, what do?
I don't know.
They run it again.
Oh, my God.
And then from 6 to 10.
What do?
They run it again.
Oh, my God.
And then from 10 to 2 and 2 to 6, they run it again and again.
Don't tell me.
All Imus all the time. Back on in Atlanta, Georgia. You know, the thing that was most irritating about the situation with that gutless, spineless coward, Steak Shapiro, and that's exactly what he was. And even worse than Steak, because we knew Steak was a punk, but it was Andrew Saltzman, the fat daddy's boy, fat loser, know-nothing son of whiny fat pig son of old Herb.
Yeah.
Is that they weren't up front with the I-Man. That's all they had to be was up front.
But were they?
No, they weren't. They were gutless. So we had to read about going off on Atlanta in the paper.
Yeah.
Rather than just calling me, we had a relationship with both of them that begged us for a job at FAN in New York.
Of course.
Beg Chernow, beg me, beg Lee Davis.
Yep.
So, I mean, that was the most disappointing aspect of all that. It's just two really unprofessional, gutless, sniveling worms. Well, enough ill feelings this morning, Chuck.
Yeah, I feel bad now.
Yeah. We're back on with Jesus. We're back on in Atlanta. Have mercy now. All right, please welcome to the Imus in the Morning program, sponsored by a Tri-State Jeep dealer, my brother Fred Imus, who is someplace in Colorado this morning. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning, I dude.
Shut up.
Sound like you forgot nearly.
So where are you?
I'm at Fort Collins.
Fort Collins, Colorado.
Which is 60 miles north of Denver and about 40 miles south of Cheyenne.
And why are you there?
We had to take a horse up here to get to Colorado State.
Right.
And it's a vet teaching school. It's probably one of the best in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have something wrong with any kind of animal, they'll figure it out and usually fix it, you know.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, people come from all over the country here.
You took one of Lynn's horses
Took one of Lynn's horses up here and had a fairly pleasant trip.
Yeah.
First couple hours on those trips, you know, it's, hey, honey, would you get me some juice?
Right.
Then about the 5th or 6th hour, give me some juice, and then about the 8th hour, you're starting to use the F word, you know. And about the 9th hour, you're even putting in that C word once in a while.
No, you're not. Yeah, shut up.
This was about the time you're just ready to kill each other, you know.
Yeah.
Because pulling a horse trailer with a horse that hadn't been in it but once,
yeah.
You can't make any sudden stops or sudden moves. It's actually a pretty tense trip, you know.
So yesterday, the backhoe
The
is out.
backhoe.
The backhoe is out. That's not the girl who lives in the back.
The backhoe.
The backhoe is out.
We don't even have a hoe out there yet.
The backhoe is out in the horse pasture, the main horse pasture across from the hay barn.
Right.
It's sitting by the well there.
Right.
So I say to Chicken Jack, can we turn Rockin' Doc and Wendy out in the pasture?
Sports with Sid, the single dumbest bastard to ever walk the face of the planet, Rosenberg.
Yes. Mo Ginsburg.
Big Osama bin Rosenberg.
Big night for me tonight, Charles.
What's going on?
Big night.
Let me in on it.
I'll be in Westport, Connecticut. Is that where Imus lives?
Yeah, up that way.
Yeah. Mitchell's of Westport.
Oh, yeah.
Big night tonight. Me and Joseph Aboud. And it is the spring gala. Or gala, maybe. And it's tonight at 670 Post Road, East Westport. They have a rare wine auction and all kinds of good stuff. Mitchell's, the people up there are very, very good people. So that is tonight with me and Aboud. So that's the first of what I promised.
What are you doing? What the
heck
are you doing?
I don't know. He put me in a suit and he's picking me up in a car and I'm going to Connecticut.
Okay.
And we're going to talk, to people. We're going to, it's schmoozing.
What's the? I mean, it's a formal schmooze with Rosenberg. Show. What is it? What's the deal? What's the event?
Well, it's an auction, I'd imagine, Charles. They're raising money for
what?
Let's see. Last year they.
You don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about what you're talking about. Last year they raised almost $600,000.
They made a good choice with you.
Yes, the Near and Far Aid Association.
The what? Say it again.
The Near and Far Aid Association.
Okay.
Okay, right. Now I know.
Yeah,
You got it
must
now.
be for functionally retarded people. Lord.
How out of place is Sid going to be up there?
Well, you never heard of this?
No. Not till this moment.
The chap who steals dead people's shirts. How amusing.
Yes. Are you wearing your own clothing tonight, Cindy?
I must go now. See you.
Did you sneak in here tonight, or were you invited?
Who do you know here?
These people are very down to earth, You got them all wrong. These are some good people here tonight at Mitchell's in Westport.
Well, with one exception.
Well, who's that?
You.
That's a pretty good point. Biggest story last night, no, it wasn't the Knicks, and no, it wasn't the Rangers. It was college basketball. I'm only going to give one score, Bernie. Don't freak out.
Great.
Duke, the number 3 team in the country, upset in Charlottesville by Virginia. How about that?
Somebody picked me up off the floor.
Come on.
Here's a better story for you. You'll like
All right.
this one.
All right, what?
Tonight is the Miss USA pageant, the 49th annual Miss USA pageant.
Yeah.
You guys have any idea who's actually hosting the event?
Nope.
All right, let's start with the woman. Her name is Allie Landry. You know who Allie Landry is?
Nope.
No.
You may remember a couple of years ago during the Super Bowl.
Potato chip commercial.
Very good. Not just potato chips, but where did the potato chips come from, Louis?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Idaho.
Oh, you mean the company?
I don't mean where they come from originally, Lou. I mean, where were they? They were flying out of a washing machine, and she was catching them with her mouth.
That's right.
Really, really hot girl.
Snagging them.
Good trick.
Banging them right out of the air.
There you go.
There you go.
Exactly right. Allie Landry, who, by the way, used to date former NFL quarterback Stoney Case.
She's very cute.
She's absolutely gorgeous, and she's hosting it tonight with none other than Deion Sanders. How about Neon?
All right.
How about Deion, huh?
Found some work.
Left the NFL. Not only did he find work, but with the firings and everybody moving around lately, Deion Sanders now a mainstay on the CBS NFL Today show with Jim Nantz, Dan Marino, and our good buddy Boomer Esiason.
All right.
That's
Way to go, Boomer, yeah.
New NFL on CBS. Isn't that great?
That's great.
Speaking of finding work.
Yeah. And what else do I have for you here, Charles?
Boomer lands on his feet.
Yes, well, he always does, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
And he gets the last laugh because he hates that jerk out Michaels.
Yeah.
And in the end, Michaels, who embarrassed himself for 2 years, laughing like an idiot about everything Dennis Miller said, he loses his man. Now John Madden comes in, and there's a new star of Monday Night Football.
Yep.
But Boomer, as you said, lands on his feet.
You bet.
Big
Good
job over at CBS.
All right.
You want to find out you want to know the Utah-Memphis score from last night, Charles?
No, as a matter of fact, I just don't
Pittsburgh,
care.
Columbus in the NHL?
Well, that kind of interesting, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you asked. 4-3 Penguins, the final in Columbus.
Really?
Yes, with your sports.
I'm going there tomorrow to Pittsburgh.
What are you going to Pittsburgh for?
Dog show.
You're going to be in New York, aren't you?
I'll be gone the whole
It's
weekend.
going to be so embarrassing when Lori invites you to the wedding. You're going to be spotted walking down Central Park 4 blocks away from Tavern on the Green.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
Walking his dog.
What can I
Walking
tell you?
his dog. That's my dog show.
Hi, Laurie.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey,
Hey, happy returns. Good luck.
Did you send a gift at least?
Of course.
How much?
I can't remember because Mrs. McCord took care of that.
You're questioning
substantial.
Charles? Etiquette?
No, I'm not etiquette.
Please.
Well, it's not a matter of etiquette.
Of course he's going to send a gift.
Of course.
Well, how much?
I don't know. It was a nice item.
$100, $200.
Oh no, far more than that.
You kidding me?
Oh no, I'm not kidding you.
Should invite you to my wedding. You gave a cash though, right? Not a gift.
You gave her 6 shirts I found in your.
You would send a coffee mug.
Oh Lord.
I actually did that. I actually invited as many people as I could to my wedding, knowing most would not show up just to get a couple of extra gifts. Didn't matter though. Got married in June and lost some money by the second week of the football season.
Your time. Thanking you for your time. See you next time. I'm Sid Rosenberg. I'm out of here.
See you later. Take it easy.
Nature is full of curiously slow creatures. The two-toed sloth, for instance, is so lethargic, fungus grows on it.
It's past the hour.
Imus in the Morning 2020 Sports with Sid Titty Bar Rosenberg.
That's what they call me. That's right. By the way, stay tuned next week for the iMan's NASCAR report brought to you by Cross, makers of the Ion Pocket Pen and sponsor of Rusty Wallace's, my favorite driver, Rusty Wallace's number 2 car. It's online at cross.com. Cross, the official pen of the Imus in the Morning show.
So where's the big event this weekend, Sydney? NASCAR event.
Yes, this weekend, and correctly, I may be wrong here, Charles, but I don't think I am.
What?
This weekend, I believe, is in Lumberton, North Carolina.
Las Vegas Motor Speedway. How's that?
So then it wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't be.
No,
it wouldn't be Lumberton, North Carolina. It'd be the NASCAR UAW Daimler Chrysler 400.
Uh-huh.
The third of 36 Winston Cup races.
The third one, right. They started with the Daytona 500. They actually did the biggest race of all first, right?
That's right. Super Bowl comes first.
And then last week was the
Rockingham.
Rockingham, right, exactly.
And the Rock.
Who won last week?
Can't remember.
Matt Kenseth.
Matt Kenseth won last
Beat
week.
out Sterling Marlin.
That's good,
I'm
Sid.
all over it, Charles.
You are all over it.
Am I all over it, Mr. NASCAR?
Okay, kid.
I'm going to go paint the number on my car before I leave work today.
All right.
NBA scoreboard last night. Knicks lose 100-86 to the Miami Heat.
Paint an L.
To match the one on his forehead, Bernard.
Cleveland beat San Antonio 114-107. Phoenix beat Indiana 107-100. And Utah beat Memphis 114-170. Dennis Miller and Dan Fouts out Monday Night Football. John Madden is in. That's your team now. Al Michaels and John Madden for Monday Night Football. That's actually a pretty good team.
Yeah.
You'll be hard-pressed to find a better team than Michaels and Madden. You find yourself ever, Charles, watching a game, a football game or any game because of the announcers?
No, but certainly the announcers can enhance the event for you.
But would they keep you around?
You mean, do you tune in specifically for
Right.
it? No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you tune in for what is the competition.
If it's just get in the car. Shut up, both of you.
Hey, I-Man.
He's alive!
Where the hell are you?
He's alive!
Praise the Jesus. Where you been?
Jesus Christ! I get in the car and but you know what I hear? I hear the reincarnation of the WNEW good guy.
Where are you? What are you doing?
Taking Wyatt to the doctor.
What are you talking about? What's happened to you? What's happened to your household?
Man, what a nightmare.
How's your week been?
Oh, it's just been great.
Oh, so's ours. God.
Well, I'll be back in July, so.
Shut up.
Things are fine.
I'm coming and getting you now.
I feel great.
I'm going to hijack you. Come on.
So this couple I have working for me here in Westport, I say, everybody's sick, and so nobody can do anything, so I need you to come down from, they live on the property, but I said, I need you to come down from the gatehouse an hour early.
Yeah.
She said, now I understand they're off all summer because we're at the ranch.
Right.
So there's 2 other months of the year, and they live on this $20 million estate,
right.
and they're on the ocean. And they're off 2 months else of the year. Not off, but I mean, we're not there, so what do you think they're going to do?
I know.
They're going to kill themselves.
Of course not.
Plus, they don't have to do anything. And then they're off, but we're only there on the weekends. She was worried about a break yesterday. So why they got a break yesterday?
So where is?
I said, I'm going to help and kill you.
So where are they working next?
Oh man, I mean, do you believe that? I mean,
no, that is hard to believe.
we have a country full of people who don't speak English who want to be paid off the books and don't want to work.
Well, what are you going to do?
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yep. There you go.
3 days ago, the nanny went to the hospital. So
Did you shoot her?
Well, I'm not going to shoot. I fantasize really about it, just plugging them all.
Well, how do you feel?
I feel a little better.
Okay.
I mean, I feel well enough to take a ride to the doctor.
There you go. All right.
So, anyway.
Well.
What do you think of Madden, Sid?
Well, I think he's great because, I can't stand Dennis Miller. He's the biggest jerk in the business.
My guy, Dennis, of course.
Your guy, Dennis, your buddy, yeah. He's the worst. He's the worst. They took like a public opinion poll around the country. People were happy whether or not Dennis Miller got fired. Like 99% were happy that he got fired yesterday.
Now, the thing I was surprised about is they got rid of Dan Cost because he seemed to...
Hello?
Yeah. Weren't you surprised they got rid of Dan Todd, Sid?
Well, you know what? There's not enough mic time, man, for Al Michaels, John Madden, and Dan Fouts. Huh?
I don't need to. I mean, I've been a part of Radio Destruction before. I don't need to be a part of it this morning. I'm out of here.
You sure? Well, I'm in.
Hey, it's good to hear from the eye.
I mean, you broke. I was about to give the NHL scores, and you broke it up for that. So to give me the NHL scoreboard, Bernie, and you broke it up for I-Man to come on and choke for 15 minutes? He sounds good, Imus, huh?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
See? Come on. He's coming. Come on. He's back. Jeez.
I do miss the Iron Man.
Well, of course you do.
Yeah.
So do we all.
Be nice
Everybody
to get him back
does.
on Monday.
Damn right.
Well, I guess I'm done then, right? Is that
I
it?
hope so.
Okay, then. See you in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, it's finger popping time. Finger popping time. I feel so good, and that's a real good sign. Here comes Mary, here comes Sue, here comes Johnny, and Imus in the morning.
Good morning, Mr. Higgins.
It's Metchy with your Imus in the Morning Scum Report at 20 after the hour. Talk about bizarre families. Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, one of Hollywood's most famous ex-couples. Well, proving that families that vacation together do not stay together. The two apparently went on a Caribbean vacation with their lovers and their 3 kids in tow. Just bring the whole gang. Willis was spotted with his 23-year-old gal pal, who is Estella Warren, the Planet of the Apes star. Right next door was Demi, who was apparently shacked up with her longtime boyfriend, who was some martial arts no-name. Apparently, the couple is also building a secret oceanside hideaway love pad. They've been seen shopping together, holding hands, caressing each other. You'd think they were like newlyweds. What's going on here? Are you divorced or not, for God's sake? Also, the two have homes across from each other in Idaho. So a very interesting situation there in the Bruce Willis and Demi Moore broken up household, which seems to be not so broken up. And there's a new plastic surgery craze sweeping the nation. Women asking surgeons to give them, get this, rear end implants.
Oh, brother.
So they can look like Jennifer Lopez.
Good Lord.
Why?
Put some junk in the trunk.
I mean, why not just sit around eating burritos and cheese dogs for a couple of weeks?
That'll do it.
Definitely be a lot cheaper. One top plastic surgeon in Houston says that everyone is coming in saying they want a bigger butt these days. Patients come in asking for a Lopez. What a thing to be famous for, your rather large derriere. With the Imus in the Morning Scum Report, I'm Christy Musumeci.
Here now on the Imus in the Morning program, Miller Time with Dennis Miller.
Well, it's about as surprising as the gurgling noises coming from Pat Summerall's colostomy bag. But apparently I've been canned over at Monday Night Football, which honestly is about as upsetting to me as my doctor informing me I'm about to get a prostate massage from Heather Locklear. It's always been somewhat of a drag to toss out pithy comments and witty bon mots to a booth filled with co-hosts so intellectually challenged they're virtually unable to justify the fact they sport opposable thumbs. To be honest, it's actually a relief knowing I'll be spending my fall sans the arcanus interruptus, Tourette syndrome-like outbursts of Al Michaels. No hard feelings, Al. Just hope you can get yourself that Ritalin script you're so desperately in need of. Al's got an attention span about as long as a Benzedrine-addicted fruit fly. Being in the booth with him was like being in a $20,000 pyramid. I couldn't say a word without him throwing one back at me like some Meisner method acting technique exercise. And Dan Fouts, nothing personal, but if you're going to sport facial hair, at least don't groom yourself so you look like the photo on the Grecian formula box. I mean, what's the deal with the Merlin Olsen look? You going for a remake of the Father Murphy TV series? To say Dan's not a bright man would be a slur against Artie Donovan. What am I saying? It's a slur against that Down syndrome kid Corky from Life Goes On. But I suppose the one thing that does bother me is the idea that I'm being sacked in favor of that Ace Hardware troglodyte, John Madden. I mean, it'd be less embarrassing if I were being replaced by Dave Madden. Because I've always respected Reuben Kincaid, and not just because he was able to book the Partridge Family into Las Vegas, despite the fact they went through drummers more often than Spinal Tap. I mean, John Madden's not exactly more aesthetically pleasing to the eye. This is a guy whose driver's license photo looks like it was shot by Diane Arbus. But hey, I guess the upside is I won't have to sit in the booth with him, which is an experience I imagine to be tantamount to spending a week in a Turkish prison hotbox with Shirley Hempel and Rip Taylor. All in all, to complain about it, it's about as futile as Sammy Davis Jr. trying to work a Viewmaster. Besides, I still have my HBO gig, which, to be honest, is a hell of a lot more satisfying as it's only half an hour and I get to say as many times as I want. And compared to working for 3.5 hours every week on Monday Night Football, it's like being at a titty bar getting a lap dance from Jenna Jameson in the VIP room instead of sitting by the stage trying to figure out how to keep the Sacagawea dollar coins from slipping through the G-strings. Of course, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't get this. I don't get this. Material is so arcane. Make your head hurt, fry your brain. The obscure references he cites on ABC each Monday night. He's just trying to amuse, but like Al Michaels, I'm confused. And you know that it's a sure bet. Dennis Miller, I just won't get. I'm telling you, Cha-Cha. I don't get this. That's what you get for going to community college. I don't get this. Come on, connect the dots here. I don't get this. You have trouble with the instructions on a shampoo bottle? I don't get this. Down on the field, Chicago Bears. But in the booth with Miller, there's nothing upstairs. Between Al and Dan Fouls, when it comes to win, they're both fresh out. He's on a roll, but hold on, those blank looks say they don't know what's going on. Can't tell you why he even bother. Behind those eyes is a tabula rasa. Gonna go wide like Wayne Corbett with a bunch of new lines that I know I won't get. This gig is tougher than the one Sisyphus had. I don't get this. It's like trying to open a Burger King in Bangladesh. I don't get this. These two have an intellect rivaled only by that of garden tools. I don't get this. Give him the mic, and he'll use it. Viewers, he ends up amusing them. Because they don't know what he's talking about with his clever bonbons. They're clueless as Melissa Stark. Who like the fans watching in the trailer park, look at the screen and scratch their head. The wheel is spinning, but the hamster's dead. Yet Al Michaels, that don't stop him. Miller does a line, Al tries to top him. What, was he raised in a Skinner box? I don't get this. I'm telling you right now, Cha-Cha. Break it down. I haven't seen a clock run down like this since Salvador Dali's Persistence of Memory. Brian Greasy reading a book by the Dalai Lama is a lot like Jamie Farr starring in a production of Jean-Paul Sartre's No Exit. Stop. Military. To be Cosell, he does aspire. Unlike Norman Donald, he loves old Meyer. He's the guy who gave him the shot, King Arthur to his Lancelot. It's not just braggadocio. He's getting bigger numbers than he do on HBO. Maybe surreal as Aragon, but a lot more hip than the days of Danny Dong. Coach looks about as happy as a Swedish dentist on New Year's. I don't get this. Tori Holt's running like Jean Valjean did from Javert. I don't get this. There's more flags on that plane than a Puerto Rican Day Parade. I don't get this. Two down, Kitty Carlisle. I don't get this. I've just been told that J.D. Salinger's in the stands. Guess we know now who has the ice-cold urine concession. You know, I haven't seen a backfield of motion like that since Nell Carter left episodic TV. Stop. Military. Hey, cool. Skittles. I'm telling you, Cha-Cha, time to blow dry couples hair, because I am out of here. Dang dang dang, ding it on ding blue moon, moon, blue moon, dip 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 moon, moon, blue moon, dip 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 moon, moon, blue moon, dip 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 bomb 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 bomb, dang dang dang, ding it on blue moon. You saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my ding-a-dong-ding. Imus in the morning.
You're in the market, David. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
David Gregory from... Are you at the White House?
I'm at the White House.
You're there? You're on the job?
On the job.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
All right.
David Gregory from the White House this morning, NBC's White House correspondent at 43 minutes past the hour.
All right, here now, Imus Washington's Senior Military Affairs Advisor, the late General George S. Patton, Jr.
At ease, as you were, maggots. At a moment in our history when a bunch of hysterical, drooling half-wits are running around trying to bring peace to the world, good news is hard to come by. As professional soldiers, we make our money by means of conflict. Currency of our realm is kicking ass. Putting a smart bomb in some dumb bastard's mud hut. Agreed?
General's a little on the bellicose side, but in broad terms, correct?
I said we live and die by making sure they are dead and gone. Correct?
And I said, if you interpret confrontation as validating a standing army's existence, yes, you're right.
Damn it, Private. Are you carrying a rifle or a fairy wand? Sound off like you were packing something other than fudge. Now, what do you want to do?
Sir, the private, to align himself with the general's philosophy, wants to commit unreasonable and excessive acts of violence, sir.
I can't hear you.
I said I want to commit mayhem, you deaf old fart.
You want to do what?
I want to cause random death, you son of a bitch, starting with yours.
That's more like it. However, conditions for broad-based bedlam are bleak.
I thought we were at war, and nice alliteration.
Not enough to suit my taste. And just when we were on the verge of a nice little all-out, balls-to-the-wall, total hair-gagging, spleen-yanking, ball-point in the forehead Middle East war that would pull in nations from all over the damn place, we now have that meddling Saudi Arabian prince with a shoe-polished beard pushing a peace initiative that Israel's prime minister says he wants to hear more about, Yasser Arafat says he appreciates, President Bush is praising, and even Lebanon and Syria are saying they might be able to live with. All right, Eddie, I feel your pain.
Feel this, you relic.
Hence, we look where we can for positive developments. So, I am pleased to be able to report to you this morning we're about to go to war with Canada. I have the details in this eyes-only dispatch right here in this valise, handcuffed to my forearm.
That's USA Today, sir.
Aha, so you think. It is disguised as USA Today, soldier. Notice, 700 troops to northern border.
No disrespect, but you're a moron of incalculable dimensions, sir.
How's that?
That's simply a newspaper headline about an expanded program to help patrol the border for our Homeland Defense Plan, sir.
Obviously, you missed all the stories about the Pentagon's Office of Strategic Bullshit, Private.
They dumped that, sir.
This is a disinformation item. This, boys, follow me now, is a declaration of war on Canada to throw off Osama bin Laden, so that through distraction, we can go over there and bomb the living hell out of the 6 Muslim nations that just told the Gallup poll that it wasn't Arabs who jumped ugly with us on September 11th.
Brilliant, sir. Daisy cutters at dawn over Damascus.
You've got it, Private. All right, lock and load. Get your goat repellent on, and let's go ventilate ourselves a few turbines.
Leave them looking like Swiss cheese rounds, sir.
Correct. Thank you for your diverted attention, boys. That is all.
Willie and Millie got mad last fall. They had a little Willie Jr. and Patty Hall. Well, the baby got famous in his crib, you see. Doing the hand jive on TV. Hand jive. Hand jive. Hand jive. Doing that crazy hand jive.
Welcome back to the YHD. That's 1-800-CALL-YHD. Or go to YHD.com. 2% commissions. Now that's smart. Real estate smart.
On the HBO Boxing Beat, I'm Larry Michael. Boxing After Dark on HBO. Spanafor and Manfredi, HBO's Boxing After Dark. I'm Larry Michael on the HBO Boxing Beat.
It's March 1st, and that means Mets baseball is back on the Fan. Be listening today at 1 as the Mets meet the St. Louis Cardinals in Port St. Lucie. Join Bob Murphy and Gary Cohen for all the play-by-play. Then keep it here from Mike and the Mad Dog, followed at 7:05 by Nick Seattle Supersonics basketball from the Garden. It's hardball, hoops, and New York sports talk here on the Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
I'm Lori McNichol for the Fan Highway Patrol. Taking a look at the Bronx, the New England Thruway has delays both ways approaching Connor Street. That's exit 13. It's due to an overturned box truck that's being cleared from the northbound side, the exit and entrance ramps at exit 13. I'm Lori McNichol for the Fan Highway Patrol.
Imus in the morning, 2020 sports with Sid. May he soon join Julius and Ethel Rosenberg.
And Mike Breen, of course.
What happened? What?
It's good. Eddie Jones and the Heat destroying the Knicks here in the fourth quarter. It's 91-77.
Let's recognize, too, that Eddie Jones is the only Miami Heat starter on the court throughout this mess.
Yes, John Andres calling it a mess. That's what it was last night for the Knicks. took a 7-point lead into the fourth quarter against the Miami Heat, and watched the Heat score 16 unanswered points to start the fourth quarter. Knicks losers again, 100-86 in Miami against the Heat. The Knicks have now dropped 6 in a row. Nets were not in action last night, but the Knicks were not the only resident of Madison Square Garden to lose. There's another tenant there.
Osa fanned on a shot, had a stick lifted by Berard. Now comes in front. Hossa, another opportunity. Stop, rebound, score. Bonk puts it home just to the left of Richter. The Senators now lead 3-0.
One of two for Radek Bonk on the night. Kenny Albert the call right here on WFAN. Rangers losing last night 3-0, the final score to the Ottawa Senators. So the Rangers now have dropped 2 in a row since coming back from the Olympics on Sunday. It was the youngster Blackburn who lost to the Devils a few nights back. Mike Richter was back in the nets for the Rangers last night in their latest loss. I got Golf out of Miami. Chris DeMarco right now leading Tiger Woods in the Genuity Championship. Into that one. Here's another big story for you. An employee of former heavyweight champion Hasim Rahman and a woman were both found dead Thursday with gunshot wounds to the head in a car registered to Rahman.
What? Well,
big.
What's the connection?
Don't know. The man and woman were both identified as Oliver L. McCafferty of 29 and Lisa R. Brown, 28. And investigators say they don't believe Rahman was involved in the shootings, but both of these people end up dead in Rahman's car.
It's a big story.
Yeah. What else I got for you here?
How about what Phil Mushnick says about John Madden?
What did Phil Mushnick say about John Madden?
You guys treat him like a sacred cow. But he says apparently that he's a money-hungry, greedy guy with no integrity, repeatedly broke his word to the networks. His boom and bang bit his old. He was a phony who was always ready to stab Pat Summerall in the back.
That's big stuff.
That's huge.
Well, I don't believe all that, though. I don't believe the last comment. The rest of it is probably accurate, but why would he want to stab?
I don't know.
Well, Summerall's bitter, you know, Bernie. He's really bitter that he was pushed out. It wasn't like Summerall wanted to retire. They pushed him out.
Right, and apparently Madden wasn't there to help him.
Well, yeah, but Mushnick writes that about everybody. Mushnick has nothing nice to say about anyone, including myself, so I'm not surprised that he wrote that stuff. But John Madden is now, along with Al Michaels, on the Monday Night Football telecast. After being hired yesterday, a 5-year deal worth $20 million, Dan Fouts and Dennis Miller both fired on their way out. And that's your new Monday Night Football crew.
There you go.
Also, by the way, one more story for you. It's a big one. NFL season usually starts on a Sunday. Oh, but not this year. No, not Sunday. No. Thursday night. Huh? How about that? Thursday night. Live from Giant Stadium. It'll be on ESPN. It'll be September the 5th. The Giants will host the San Francisco 49ers. Before Labor Day weekend even comes your way. Not exciting?
What's the point behind that?
Well, geez, I don't know, Bernie. I just read the story. I mean, let's see. Well, wait a second.
Right.
No, there's probably a very good reason for
Maybe
that.
Russo would know.
Why would he know?
He does a sports show here?
Let's see a second. The NFL emphasized over the schedule is not final. They have not given an explanation why they're doing that, Bernie. I can't tell you why.
I'll listen to Mike and Chris today. Try to find out.
What are you talking about? Why would they know?
I'm just kidding you.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
Bad enough the dog keeps taking shots every day. Every day now, Bernie.
You got to sit there and just take it?
Yeah, I don't hear you firing back.
Well,
what's the deal here?
Nothing.
You go on the air, you turn into the P word is what you turn into.
No, that's
You're
not true.
obsequious,
Well, what do you got?
sycophantic,
You got
don't have
something?
a Madden, you don't have a Francesa rules, but whatever, you got to do what you
I'm a
got to do.
Francesa.
You
got
got
anything?
If somebody's firing at you, you're supposed to fire back.
Well, here's what I'm
But
thinking
we have
about.
to go.
Well, no, wait a second. I'm going to sit down with Charles and you, Bernie, and Lou, and we'll figure something out. I'll take the continual bombings all day. When I attack, it'll be short, but it'll be revengeful.
Ooh,
And there will be some blood.
I'm shaking.
Revenge is a meal best enjoyed at leisure.
Thank you, Charles. Sid Rosenberg, Imus in the Morning Sports.
Road and track appeal. Some of the stories we've been following through the morning, and Sydney's standing by, and Imus in the Morning News time is now 10 minutes after the hour.
Imus in the morning, 2020 sports with Sid there, right there. That's my shirt, you thieving mother Rosenberg.
All right, everybody, a quick scoreboard update. Here it is. Let's start in the NBA. Last night, Knickerbockers took the fourth quarter with a 7-point lead down in Miami and watched the Heat go on a 16-0 run en route to a 100-86 loss, the 6th in a row for the Knickerbockers. Miami outscored the Knicks 33-12 there in the fourth quarter. Miami now 8 games under 500. As for the Knicks, they are 15 under 500. Knicks back in action tonight at the Garden. They'll host Seattle. The Nets were off last night, coming off their latest loss to Charlotte. The Nets in Philadelphia for Allen Iverson and the 76ers tonight. The rest of last night's NBA scoreboard: Cleveland beat San Antonio 114-107. Andre Miller had 37 for the Cavs in the win. Tim Duncan threw in 35 for the Spurs in the loss. Phoenix down 9 with 1 minute left at home to Indiana. Comes back to tie it, then outscores the Pacers 13-6 in overtime. And the Suns get a 107-100 win. Stephon Marbury led the way. He had 26. Utah blew the doors off of Memphis 114-70. They win by 44 in this one. Daniel Marshall led the way. He had 20 points. NHL last night, Rangers losing 3-0 at home to the Ottawa Senators. The Rangers are now 0-2 since they returned to action from the Olympics last Sunday. Rangers, of course, home losers on Tuesday night to the New Jersey Devils. They had Blackburn in the nets that night. And last night, Mike Richter returned to action in the loss. The rest of last night's NHL scoreboard: Carolina wins 6-2 in Boston. It was Pittsburgh winning in Columbus 4-3, but the news not good for the Penguins. Mario Lemieux now out for the year. Think about this one now. Messier looks like he's done for the year for the Rangers. Lemieux, he's done for the year for Pittsburgh, and Michael Jordan too may be done. Jordan, Lemieux, and Messier all on the shelf. San Jose wins in Washington 5-2. It was Calgary over St. Louis 3-2. Nashville wins 3-2 in Edmonton. Dallas wins 4-3 in Vancouver, and it was Colorado over Phoenix. The final there was 2-1. Also, John Madden, now part of the Monday Night Football crew, signs a deal yesterday for $20 million. He'll replace Dennis Miller and Dan Fouts and work alongside Al Michaels on Monday Night Football. And Labor Day is before the start of the football season. My correction. But Labor Day, actually, I guess the Monday, but Thursday, September 5th, they'll start the football season this year. First time ever they started on a weeknight. ESPN will televise the game. It'll be the Giants hosting San Francisco. A formal announcement should be made early next week. 9:13 now. I'm Sid Rosenberg. This is Imus in the Morning Sports.
Andy Rooney this week is at the airport, beating his nail clippers and eyeglass repair kit into plowshares. Andy?
Well, yes, I am. I want to be security correct, you know, when I get to check-in. Wouldn't want me, Andy Rooney, age 83, suit and tie, white-haired, clean-shaven, to unnecessarily delay this fellow next to me, Ahmed Farouk, 22. 5-day growth, standing in line with the bazooka, the turban, and the ceremonial dagger stuck in his waist sash. Now, would I? Oh, certainly I exaggerate for effect here. He doesn't have a bazooka. It's really only a shoulder-fired, infrared, FIM 92-A Stinger anti-aircraft missile. I'm sure he means us no harm. After all, he's got picture ID. About 50 of them, looks like. In the meantime, let me, 100-year-old white guy, just drop my cuticle scissors, shoes, shirt, tie tack, belt, socks, shorts, and American flag lapel pin in the basket here to try to spare myself a cavity search. Have you flown since February 17th? That was the day that airport security got federalized. I don't know about you, but I don't feel a whole lot better. Especially since this Federal Aviation Administration whistleblower fellow went public on the 25th to say that absolutely nothing had changed. And then offer an analysis strongly suggesting to me that a Miss Cleo Psychics Convention would have tighter security. And they'll take anybody. Well, congratulations then to a couple of people who, much like the radio host Don Imus, I normally castigate. Congressmen. The losers over on the House side. But maybe, and hold on to your seat cushion here, just maybe a couple of them have begun to stir and show signs of intelligent life. 2 congressmen, John Mica, Republican of Florida, and Peter DeFazio, Democrat of Oregon, have gone way out on that old logic limb to suggest, gingerly, that perhaps, possibly, perchance, maybe, don't know for sure, but conceivably, the new Transportation Security Administration should come up with a procedure to, now get this, and hope your sensitivities aren't abused, a procedure to identify passengers who pose the greatest risk. Well, now, dear God, I've heard of courage, daring, and audacity before, but never to that degree, have you? Do you suppose they're talking about horror of horrors, profiling? Excuse me while I try to catch my breath.
Am I just the dumbest son of a bitch who ever lived? Or does it maybe make some smidgen of sense that if you'd really like to keep airplanes out of skyscrapers, you might want to take a closer look at the guy on Camelback slashing his way through the metal detector with a box cutter than at the comatose nursing home resident in the wheelchair with the oxygen stuck up her nose? Seems lucid to me. Because while it may not be very high on the ACLU airline passenger criteria list, and correct me if I'm wrong, but as I remember it, it wasn't members of the Swedish bobsled team, or the AARP for that matter, who presented us with September 11th. Excuse me? Oh, bend over and spread them? Sure, there you go. Oh, just don't leave your watch.
Elliot from Harvard. The hitchhikers you picked up need the pills from your car. Please go to the information station right away. To get back to the warning that I've received, you may take it with however many grains of salt you wish. That the brown acid that is circulating around us is not specifically too good. It's suggested that you do stay away from that. Of course, it's your own trip, so be my guest. But please be advised that there is a warning on that one, okay?
Imus in the morning.
Hear about the arthritis sufferers.
I'm Highway Patrol.
And I'm Christy Musamechi with the Imus in the Morning Scum Report. Cher was sharing last night on Primetime Thursday. She let cameras into her Malibu home and talked about her personal life, about aging, and losing her sex appeal. She said she'd just go in a different direction, like a bumper car. She said she never really believes, though, that she will lose her sex appeal, or obviously her modesty there. Or she says she will not change being the type of woman that she is. Gotta wonder about that. Maybe she's relying a little on plastic surgery to help her there with the looks in the looks department.
Not Cher.
Yeah, really. She said she's considering, get this, directing films as another possible way to go if the acting roles disappeared. When's the last time she did a film?
I don't know.
Moonstruck, that's about it.
Yeah,
And then on the topic of men, she said that gay men consider her their best friend and straight men are a little nervous. I think that's because she's a favorite for drag queens. They probably want to borrow a wig or a dress from her. Cher's next project is going to be MAME, a TV movie musical. Should be very interesting because, get this, the producer is Barbara Streisand.
Oh, dear.
Call that project Clash of the Egos.
Why did it have to be sunny?
Sunny. And speaking of freaks, the infamous Southampton nightclub that Lizzie Grubman smashed into last summer is changing hands. The New York Post reports Conscience Point Inn is going to be operated by Christian Curry, a top trader who sued Kidder Peabody after he was fired. He claimed it was because he posed naked in a gay magazine. So this guy is like, a freak himself. He's pretty much a fixture on the Big Apple club scene, and he's had a couple of scuffles himself, none that was infamous or huge as Lizzie's, whose PR firm, by the way, might just do the publicity for the club. You got to think, though, maybe they're going to change the name, and a good idea would be point where freaks and fags find fun in.
Wait a minute.
A warning outside, enter at your own risk, for God's sake. With the Imus in the Morning Scum Report, I'm Christy Musamechi.
All right, here now on the Imus in the Morning program, our old friend Scott Muniz. Scotzo.
He's been a daily fixture, about as reliable as your morning constitutional. Despite his penchant for chronic hypochondria, his dedication to his audience has seen him at the microphone, broadcasting live, even from his post-surgical hospital bed. That's why whenever the dulcet tones of the I-Man are missing from my radio, I fear the end is near. The Imus in the Morning program, bereft of its namesake, live and in studio, is a lot like the Stones in concert without Mick Jagger. Like the Miami Dolphins ever since Dan Marino left. It's Van Halen with Sammy Hagar. What you're left with is a remarkably lifelike reproduction of the institution you've come to know and love, yet somehow it's just not quite the same. It's something that could be called Imus Interruptus, much like paying for the happy ending at the Oriental Relaxation Spa without ever getting your egg roll yanked. Usually, when Imus is out on one of his 12 annual vacation weeks, they run what is euphemistically referred to as the best of Imus, or as I like to call it, being reminded why I thought that interview with Jeff Greenfield was so tedious the first time it aired. And when they're running a Geraldo Santana banana bit about Bernard Goetz, it's pretty safe to assume they're not broadcasting live. But on those rare occasions when Imus is too ill to actually make it to work, we're given a curious amalgam of a program. Hourly live news reports from Chuck, and then the best-of tapes, which causes an out-of-sync, out-of-sequence rift in the space-time continuum, leaving you confused as to exactly where the hell you are, a state not all that unknown to Imus himself. The only upside is the half-hourly sports reports. That is, at least when Warner is at the update desk. Too often is the Wolfman bumped in favor of an extra 3 minutes with the footnote-challenged Doris Kearns Goodwin, or the simply refuses to get the hell out of the studio Joe Abood. Of course, the downside to that equation is on the days when it provides more of Sid Rosenberg, which is about as welcome an addition to the format of the program as Chinga Chavin doing the traffic to a Giesenslaw's music bed. Which leads me to reveal what I think is the biggest problem with the almost best-of live Imus in the Morning program, Charles McCord. Without the nanosecond attention span and zero tolerance level of the I-Man, Chuck allows tedious sequences, like the Sid sports reports, to go on way past their welcome. McCord lacks the heartless insensitivity and overwhelming loathing of the human spirit inherent to Imus's on-air persona. And so, a lot gets by that wouldn't normally pass muster, which, as Charles is also responsible for the show's tape production sessions, would also include this tedious bit. In fact, if Imus were indeed well enough to come to work today, you wouldn't be hearing the sound of my voice right now. And so, although I wish the I-Man a speedy recovery for the betterment of his program, the selfish, ego-driven, attention-starved part of me hopes for a long and protracted hiatus. Because it's been a long, long while since I've gotten this much FaceTime on the airwaves, and hopefully, if that little get-well card I sent him with the Hong Kong influenza spores sprayed on it does what it's supposed to, it just may last a little longer. Scott Muni here, in for the Illinois Man. Coming up, we got a commercial-free foreplay of some classic Foghat.
I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you about my town. I'm going to tell you a big fat story, baby. It's all about my town. Yeah, down by the river. Down by the banks of the river Charles. That's what's happening, baby. That's where you'll find Imus in the morning.
Now until A-Dog's Caretakers goes on. The Imus in the Morning program uses AOL Instant Messenger service. You can send a message to the I-Man Monday morning at Imus WFAN. The Autobody Express mentions are brought to you by the Mohegan Sun Casino. One other reminder, it is tonight and tomorrow night, Rob and the Bartletts appearing at the Zipper Theater in New York City. Tonight, tomorrow night. For ticket information, you can call the box office at 212-563-0480 or simply go to robshow.com. Rob and the Bartletts tonight and tomorrow night at the Zipper.
Hi, I'm former President Bill Clinton, and if you're a student between the ages of 18 and 25, enrolled in an accredited...
Body measurements over SAT scores. IQ not required. Not affiliated with the Gary Condit Internship Program or any Democratic Party-sanctioned concubine enterprise.
Always seem to get caught red-handed since I was a governor. Trying to manipulate the Constitution or sexing up some big fat whore. How do I maintain my unbelievable immunity? Whatever they throw, I spin it so it never ever sticks to me.
Whether it's a shady little vacation villa or banging ugly women who look just like Godzilla, denial is the option that he always first consider. Just like old Jay searching for the real killer. Whatever the critical situation may be, they don't like his bodies, well, pardon me. There's nothing they can do to make him feel no shame. Whatever they allege, he vigorously disclaimed.
All those prison billing records, it wasn't me. Guy with a crooked tacker, it wasn't me. Abusing presidential powers, it wasn't me. All our children, Jenny Flowers, it wasn't me. That girl who said that I accost her, it wasn't me. Ron Brown, Vince Foster, it wasn't me. Illegal loans, Whitewater, it wasn't me. Intern younger than my daughter. I always seem to get caught red-handed, literally and figuratively. With my trousers hanging around my ankle, I always plead not guilty. Now they're trying to nail
They always taking him as a prime suspect, but he always taking it deep because they incorrect. Whenever they accuse him of malevolence, he bites his lower lip and plead his innocence. When he finally hanging off of a cliff, he called in his markers, make them all take the fifth. When I'm painted in a corner, it wasn't me. By my critics and scorners, it wasn't me. When they tried to indict me, it wasn't me. I tell them all to bite me, it wasn't me. I'm a skilled truth dodger, it wasn't me. Blaming my brother Roger, it wasn't me. For turning the White House into Sodom, it wasn't me. Him and that fat Hurata. I always seem to get caught red-handed, fingers in the cookie jar. Selling Lincolns in the Lincoln bedroom, screwing around with my cigar. Shake my finger and refuse the charge of any impropriety. Though they try, they never seem to pin anything on me. I just act irritated by whatever they claim, and they get so damn frustrated when I don't accept blame. When I'm accused of anything, I say it's personal assault. But I never come to nothing 'cause it's Hillary's fault. It wasn't me.
What did Francesa say?
It wasn't me.
He opted not to go on the air.
So he's mad at me?
Oh, I couldn't discern that. He said he'd speak to you when he gets to the station later today.
Uh-oh. That's not good, is it?
Doesn't sound happy.
No.
Well, he's got to lighten up. I mean, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. You know.
I reached out to my friend, Francesa.
Right.
And now he's slapping my hand away.
You were snubbed.
Exactly.
Refusing to appear on the program with me.
Trying to mend fences?
Yeah.
If there are any to be mended, even.
No, we're just screwing around. I mean, you can't. Charles and I were talking about that a few minutes ago, not about Mike, but I mean, it was about how sensitive people are anymore. I mean, you just can't, you just reach the point where you can't do anything.
Oh.
Can't say anything.
You can't say anything,
No.
you can't do anything.
Nothing.
Sensitivity quotient in this country, unbelievable.
Where's your perspective? Come on.
Hypersensitive.
Well, we don't care, but I mean, well, I care about Mike. Well, that's not good. Mike's,
We love Mike.
yes, that's not good, Mike making me feel bad. Now, once again,
There you are, you're a victim.
here I am,
again.
once again a victim.
Yep.
Trying to kid around, and what was Mike doing? Mike's getting competent attitude.
So thanks you get.
Mike is a beloved figure on this program.
Yeah. He doesn't get, he gets more